Then Professor Al Wahab Farouk, international diplomatic consultant, bidding commoner. Yenyano, a Britia way more, a homano so. Quickly, Yanshana, Yenin common fatama, Wontumi, Yoguns and Semi Hose was security threat to be Prof, Yamaka baby. Right. Where the him say Adajini Hall side crime to yen delay. Chairman Bernard Ntribos yakon Eddie Kine National Security Code ni fie na oba Wontumi television and radio na obetia team mu say Ghana for sorry NPP for sorry na John Dramani Mahama na Aban sorry because of NPP ntino omo ye ne saa no NPP for so sorry we ehu the Eddie Kine no.
In the first place, I don't think that anything big deal, and I say this Krumha, and I said this is happening for the first time in the history of Ghana. Over time, said, you know, Wyoming issue as a test case scenario and a reference case scenario.
Okay.
Over time, said NGP air campaign, baby, in 2016, leading to the elections of 2016 elections. Over time, said,
Yes, please.
Okay, that song was orchestrated. It was designed by Kwame Duncan.
Okay.
It was echoed by Samia Uku, na JB, no to be, Wontumi, no to be. You see, this thing happened. It was the basis with which NPP elections 2016, if Ghanaians do remember, it was based on the fact that perceived NDC officials under President Mahama's governance, they were thieves, they stole, they did. Upon which NPP did a very strong campaign, and I do remember that quote. Vice President Baumia or say corruption, massaging economic figures, and then also there were some other things, or just incompetence. Over Kaidiama 3. MPP hit on this three to win elections. That's very fine. It's politics. But when MPP got the chance and got the power in 2017, you and I know, say, under President Mills, Wayobi Ochino, President Mahama, Wayobi Ochino, or spending about 3-4 days ourselves. But when MPP had the chance, and I fairly remember Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo was said, Wayomi's issue is not my time. And Ghanaians' money with Wayomi, I'll collect it for Ghanaians. About 8 years of MPP rule, Nanado J. Sky Wayomi Homa Ghana for now.
Officially, no.
No. Wyoming under Nanaglu under NDC government, he could not travel because his passport was trapped. His properties were trapped, but silently on the blind side of Ghanaians, Wyoming the properties under MPP they released to them, and this is MPP. Yes.
There is a because Professor, Wyoming Kra Hunti na Martina Midu, any position under Nana Danko Akufo-Addo.
Yes, I'm talking about yes. Now, Jifa Ashebo, and then the previous government, MPP I'm referring, didn't see. Leading to the fact that when even the lady, the passport was confiscated and given to registrar at the court. How was the lady able to get a passport? And the same MPP that criticized, say Obani is saying, she got a passport, she traveled on medical grounds. Who ushered and who offered the medical grounds is a government, judicial, and the NPP. And only for at the tail end of the MPP government, as though you are sentenced, in absentia, where now they will do everything possible to bring her. Some of us said that it's not possible. You cannot bring her back because Ghana and America will need extradition pact that borders outside the frame of murder case and drugs. Only two. Besides that, in any other thing, you have to reinvent. But then over there, the lady's lawyer will say, sir, she's also high risk. She can't travel. She's sick. And that ended the matter. Now, the same case scenario, Sir Wontumi, today, he has been questioned or he has been invited by Yoko or anybody. Not to be at the party members, faithfuls, as you mobilize you. Yes, we are talking about security implications. Me, I'm talking about it's just a noise. It's just only annoying because President Rawlings, let us not forget, during President Kufuor time, there was an attempted arrest, an invitation of Rawlings to come to the Kanda, a national security now, so a BNI office. That Kanda BNI office was an office that was established by Rawlings himself. One, to do good things and to do bad things. It was used also to punish some of also his opponents. When he was called to come in, NDC also mobilized themselves. Unfortunately, one of my friends, who is a Nima Boykas Rubiko, he ended up being shot. NDC formed in up to now, the gentleman Nima Nima and then Obiensi. The gentleman's wife and the kids, nobody, and he died and he never came back. He's yet to resurrect, nobody knows. So what I'm trying to say is that Wontumi not in isolation. He is not the first and you'll be the last. Regime Bibaba, activists. Whether it is genuine or not genuine, for me, I'm saying on the basis that and the two political divide, MPP and DC. So the kind of heat, the kind of arguments, the kind of political talk when in opposition or when in power, they see when the power turns. Any other thing, even genuinely, one would read political meaning into it, and that is what we're experiencing. Either than that, Brazilian president, need to me, Ofi power, Dulula, Ofi power, no one sources from the same party or Chinitu. Chiluba of Zambia, Manamasa, and a vice. Manamasa, and only deeper hand over man you are from one party as a vice president, Baumia succeeding a Kufuado, the excellencies. Okofia 2 days not change Chiluba out of Arahua Chiluba the Uye. What does it mean? What it means is that we follow politics and use politics to deceive and use policy to keep each other. I'm quoting, say, Mr. Wontumi, I share the videos, and in the near maybe I was social media. Anyhow, or Tine, Ebia, or Kenyama, or Kafa, today's president, Mahama Ehu. Any the threats, any the call it the anger and the boastful arrogancy. I'll put it. And I'm putting it to me a cast across. NDC have done worse also the same time. Different activists. But who says a power society? I dare one say you feeling say Obi you should power against you and you've done nothing wrong. That is where we find ourselves in. My advice is that the party mobilizing themselves, and then Wontumi on this radio as you said, Mitiebi. When I'm sorry, Ghana phone sorry, President Mama say, President Mama yes. Is it fair or not? He would also contend and say, security agencies in. Are you telling me, or listeners telling me, my security agencies in your Juma now? But because, the innocent person and the Korea will join, and the Adenokwa, nobody mobilizes to go and defend.
Okay.
Obian also could defend it. In case scenario, you come a judge a sentence 19-year-old boy to 13 years imprisonment. Because no judge and so young would before say a big boy in the case, but none of 1 week. In the sign that the best boy in real giant, your human rights will come her. Has Siraj gone there to talk about say it's just only 19 years? Ojani knew 400 Ghana cedi. Who speaks for that person? So if somebody will sit in a car, Accra, mobilize themselves all over and go to Yoko, wherever Wontumi is being investigated. Now, we have also issues which I'm saying, pregnant women that fall in Sawam, abroad, they can only take Ghana cedi, they are jailing in 2 years. Who is speaking for those people? So this kind of politics, that comes into place, a political figure, if you say and touching or not. And I'm speaking not only in favor of either MPP or NDC, all of them alike. You cannot use power, and neither should you also use power on the other side, because Sebia President Mahama, French president, like Paul Biya, like Alassane Ouattara, and even Nigerian President Tinubu, and Kaswano Kaswaya vindictive and that's okay. And Yama can find me hono. If you are saying that, maybe one would have not seen, and that's him who said, charged and bailed. And you all know, sir, he was charged, he was bailed. I don't want when a political activist, and I'm strictly against that, either MPP or PCP or PCQ, I don't care. You don't pull your party into your own personal issue. Deal with it and deal with the authorities. Deal with it and deal with the authorities, because at the end of the day, you yourself, you will not be affected. Innocent people travel from Accra to Kumasi. Fortunately or unfortunately, we are humans. I'm a realist. Obi bet me accident. Obi was free. Do you understand me? Obi ni military benya scuffle. Obi ni yoke benya scuffle. It is a body established by all of us. It's one person activist winning the purpose which they are doing or what how they go about their investigation. But you feel sad, your liberty, or you feel sad, you are being cheated or you are being punished because of XYZ. That is to advise listeners and everybody who has the chance to lead a political office in any country, especially in Ghana. You should know Sabribi Baba. The only power here will be the power bit here. Not to say, sir, members of NDC, the also sono, obi by next year, obi in Fabiniano. Not to say, sir, Mr. Wontumi, Kumasi, there are people that would also voluntarily come out to say, sir, it's acquire also then a power. Somebody would also come to say that. What do you have to say about that? Maybe what you say. Won't be online. Somebody can confess to Kumasi. On to back us of a land. I'm not into geologist and I'm not EPA activist or a member. I'm not a PMMC and I'm in the Ghana Mineralogy Commission. Anything to do with certifications, I don't care. But if there's an issue, say, okay, Mr. Wontumi, money illegally, this should not actually be a big deal. The investigation process can go on. But I also ask the security agencies, why maybe Wontumi at this time? Why him? There are a lot of several miners in the country. Why is he also being picked and the other miners not being picked? Is he the only person mining in the forestry or who perceived to have been mined in the forestry? That is also hard to say. Engineering comes and it boils on the fact that you do me, I'll do you. That is the Ghanaian politics, the way that we are going. And it's very dangerous. And Mr. Wontumi tone down, not subscribing into investigation. Now we claim one regime in said the Amadou because right from police station or say politically motivated. Me, I disagree with any politician. NDC, time, Alhaji Osman, BNI, National Security. Osman saw a several sentence. So and so were also which government put him himself? A MPP government. Abu Gapele, he went to jail sentence. On and on and on. You bet my examples, both parties from their yomo. Which one is politically motivated and this one, which one is natural? Obi Otia Bonche, I mean, no need there. Say case about the case in the natural case. Many police in good. You are two politicians. Let me come out with this particular issue. Some one Ghanaian politician, ministers, excuse me, are from for a young on both sides. Every Ghana's they won't find a court jail. Ebi several jail sentence 2 years, so didn't know Okolibu. Or then you know Okolibu or Dampaso. I've been a back contest Ghanaian political activist that didn't know very. Me, I'm a police officer, innocently not anything. Or trying in check 2 weeks or bear me back. Police officer no small man cop and to crack in Sika Ben. They didn't know for 4 grand and no officer and be no. So it's not under any problem.
Professor.
I'm a realist.
Okay.
And the politician cannot handle me to me political power.
Okay.
But I'm saying it on authority. And I'm saying that call all the hospitals, police officers, innocently, or be a police officer guarding in the army. Send your guy, I'm robber, be a webra, or a politician or one, or a police officer. Or shall say, Nipa Hank of Vidani. No. No, try yourself. What drafting, accurating, adding about no other family member. If you know woman has a receptionist, more be a now. If you call a police officer, yes, okay, try not for Papa, will be so from also Jim. Or no, here in the Sika or check banker, police officer and the Queen. All the people in Sika Manu. Negate the Adriana Pesiba was old officer, didn't the Abakoji, and to it my sorry cracks or Yako. That is how we treat ourselves as a country said. Yeah, politicians and run into me. That is what Wontumi is crying. And that is what others NDC people also cried, said, be a politician. If you cross a media, me dead Jews. If you cross a media, me sell. But papa, it's like area. Obia no okay. And yes, of course, I will but you found would you liberty within that 5 minutes now. You see, I do watch at all, you use source, I do on something comes into your mind, say, your liberty, your liberation, your freedom have been curtailed. And that is the fear. Obia on the calculus, my phone. It is like that. And I didn't know you will be in your demo. And find you. Now, maybe I said, yes, national security, BNI, Yoko, they can handle it professionally without creating any drama. But then, Wontumi must also say, what declare was stand, they said, BBI genuine, BBI, why that kind of a route? Why that kind of say, who raising, ignited the passions, and then also creating fears? You don't do that in a country. Maybe they may show. We can say one single politician can plug this country into any chaos. Tell him or her, say it is not possible. And I've given several different definitions, and I've given a lot of lectures. Say this particular country, green belts, the green belt area, I say, you are the most enhanced progressive cross-tribal marriage.
Okay.
Cross-tribal marriage, Ghana tribe be our baby. Unlike tribes like in Kenya, unlike tribes like in Nigeria, unlike tribes like in other parts of Africa. In the Ghana family, United Nations. Open parliament, a parliamentarian be a free north to be an free south.
Okay.
It's one on the money brief north for no. The money self free south. And so target here, you are out.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, of course. Check it out. Cross-tribal Ghana talks of the whole Africa. Okay, yes, sorry. You're preaching a Sabi Krobuni. You're translating a Santini and also to Krobo. And now, church members, elder, Ubenya Kren, Ubenya Krapin, Ubenya Way. Now, so a community where there's a congregation of residential area and that's a community area where we have the two dominant religions, Islam and Christianity.
Christianity.
For Nima, there are churches in the middle of Nima. At the back of mosque. Azan and the Papa 4:30. Now Azan I say Allah Akbar. So we 5:15. Imam 2:30 after said, I sorry for sorry. Nyamikania GNI no. What is your beautiful?
There be a.
But in Tampozongo, sorry, see, Zongo. Because we just Zongo. Never I can Nima, Comedina. Document said document inside at the back of mosque will be on a spiritual church. And before you saw non social come. You inside? No. No politician can push this country. And I've also said the many security agencies, which are condemned all the time, said the security profile of the country, they should bring it. They don't have it. They don't have the security profile. Yes,
they don't have the data.
They don't have the security profile because under President Kufuor, the most wanted man in Ghana was a common criminal.
Okay.
President Kufuor 2005. Atayi Kofi was the original commander Accra. Sikam the man son kochi Atayi 500 Ghana cedis.
500 cedis now they kochi obiani profile. The criminal profile was
wanted. And then the profile, the most wanted man in Ghana at the time. Sought for, looked for by President Kufuor's regime was Atayi. Sky they continue 500 Ghana cedis. When we say Ghana, we treat the military uniform at no. When we say your police presence, our military, our bush, no. And I've asked several times, so our country security profile, only one man will be silent. Omumra, MTM said, Ghana police service in uniform 10, I register officers in Young Woman. Ghana military intelligence and family said, your soldiers go my defective, Young Woman. What about immigration? What about prison service? Paramilitary and then all the security community. You don't have it. Any bush in a clear bush. Well, it is clear bush. Because land Ghana and your government the idea. The Ghana country land, it belongs to the chiefs. It belongs to the town. And now, he not chama the subjects. And the me come from, Nasa will be now, no military uniform. And once I'm about Gongon, about the flashing out in the Ghana, soldier need to meet them cool.
Okay.
Police need to meet them cool. And the country cannot have a civil unrest that will bust the whole country into crisis. And we are hope. And also the minority tribes in our north. Because a conqueror and your friends and Mampusi Kusashi. Have you seen such flights? Painting escalating. It's within them themselves.
Okay.
Because Katrinin Kokubi Makusashi. But then you could be Mampusi. What are they say? One uncle Johnny, but that's uncle Johnny. Bimo Basisala, Uncle Johnny, and Mampusi to Kusashi, Roman Concomitant. It cannot escalate. And yes, a South fight in Kaba. So it's not a national issue. It is a national security issue. It is a failure of investigations and failure of what? Intelligence. And we gather wrong intelligence and we don't process. Ghana can gather more intelligence, but our processes the West. That is why some of these things. Alavanyo in Konya. Omu fight every 32 years. Omu the tea about Fred. Ghana Army. Of course, Sudan Kopatem Toka, Wontumi Kopata Alavanyo in Konya. It is a chief country. Do you understand me? And see, Obiano Niasa, and you a politician, whoever can also shout. When it comes to say, wanting people to go and fight, nobody will fight for you. And whoever goes to fight for you, fight for yourself. Open security agency, what would you mean? Yeah, of course. Because there's no insurance. Ghana Army, Ghana Police, our operations, none need to cover. Only insurance we are, any America. Working free. And why would you let somebody's issue? Why would it turn out to be a party issue? Why does it become a political campaign? Why does it become political speeches? It's because NDC for you, and the ministry of doom time soon you be. In the time and NPP positive NDC for me. What we don't see when you're changing that. When government arrested Koko at the time, was that not NPP?
Yes.
At the end of the day, they drafted him to be an NPP supporter. This is the beauty of a country.
Okay.
This is the beauty of a country. Talking of doing campaign more or less indirectly, speaking for NPP government. Exactly. And the politicians are clear, say, Omubaki country nabum, and I'm saying, say, your boots are clear. And you bind your Cote d'Ivoire government in land, it will be a tunkotam you cool. That is why Rollins was able to survive 23 coup d'etat, because Jiwamukro be a kuno, small boys, no, one grand man, sir, Omen man, sir, you are quite chrome, Bako for an chain, my jelly chain, the kuno. What I said, only what man said you cool. Any cassette, I say more broadcast in the journey. Your friend said, College Consider, any Mikaso for Rollins name, Coca and Passy Daniel. Yeah, just common cassette. That's what you are party team or name the small boys. Police, one million pop on the ASL cool. One question not one. Nevertheless, none at you will because of done by the or quite another thing will woman have a being said. And no fair army sample for when you are ever cool by your friends at FSBs. So this country, you can't hide, you can't do anything. We have a self-security by the land system and then the ownership of land. Any one. Two, as far as united and Wontumi divided. Three, Oko parliamentarians now for when you remember assignments. Me am Farouk Wahab. Yes, we were to Obi was to Pepeni, Obi but for you to know, my great grandmother or a Votaria or I'm ready and for a palace only free. Kumasi you put for me, Kumasi yourself, I'm from Adiababa Palace. But in your family, for you to region about it. Open history of two for back to baby of Befa, Yanana Madumba. But Yabaya Santifo, but Yaya Santifo. If we not just talk to Kumbutarian, little royal family in Vota, Togo Hudo, and Frega Palace. That's where we are from. You see the dynamics of Ghana. Come to Greater Accra, come to Kumasi. Get me other friend, yeah, Nepapati, and Mamifia. So the more boys, no, yeah, with our girlfriend, baby, and Mamifia. Never say Papa, never say Papa, who wants a family of baby, now cross of 4 tribes.
Of
What
course.
did they? What the United Nations Kuma? That is why there's a peace, and then it is a peace without any ink. And we will him. Politicians, when they are arrested, no subscribe for investigation. Not security of authorities. Some will be a money looking like the political affiliation and our channel. By the end of the day, between you and I, Wontumi issue like Wyoming can't issue him.
Hey,
Like any other political high profile cases. What's saying?
Wooding.
Baba, say you will say MPP so day. Mr. Puni Echo Court.
Okay, go
I
board.
get me
Go board. Yeah.
8 years. 8 years. Edu baby no. Not yet state witnesses of states against Mr. Puni. They turn out even to criticize the state. That is the beauty of it. At the end of the day, she said, and the MPP also know. All government man, they didn't find anything. So it's possible that NDC so will not find anything with Mr. Wontumi. So why the noise? Mr. Police also one fair politician, one fair NDC, or Coco, but he until this kind of massive demonstration. All this boils down on the fact that MPP NDC, we the innocent Ghanaians, we are saying, say, Wontumi Ekroma, my name can't show. Sabi Accra Wojina Street so Aircon, Doctor. These boys at the end of the day, although Kojina Okana area Hokake, Okwa no one send it 5 cities, the money mammy, oh Mumu. Sakran going to me recruit nation army to Congo. Wontumi recruit says IGF army. Wontumi change out the Contextual on your rebellion. Wontumi a terrorist. No terrorist group has been formed on the basis of Ghana. Over Kaisi election 2017, MPP Vigilante, NDC Force TB. When you election now, Nanado air sworn in. There was an issue of vigilantes, Echo Court, Echo Yedidi. Papa Sam was in him.
No, I'm train opium for free. Court one.
Yes. Some of us said a nonsense use of that word because vigilante be no about tie. SSH, court, Ebico court. That was no more massive vigilantes. Obi akona na ire ne maame na ne so for DHT. Vigilante was awful. Vigilante was imam how koja no court. At the end of the day, then you Obi akona fi anko dan kudi fufu. So we should stop creating this kind of unnecessary heat. It is not right.
Professor, young rock a crabina, Yamanjo and home. Sa vigilantes then San Crofono. Mekaya on the 18th of April 2012, it was Wednesday, and Honorable Canada Japan, the treason homes and some genocide. Efa Ushiang and Nia Bonibinis hands and some no. Sa vigilantes yani party for ya could cheshi a home di Muama, Honorable Omujano. Ye Casey, Honorable Kennedy in Comobi Treasures, Ancrophone, the Omo for there. Abaniba power near Germans, Ancrophone be Akosha national security. I don't know, so you're aware of these things.
Baba, let me tell you, MPP NDC, they shoot themselves in their own foot. And whatever they do, they establish, they come what you sow, you reap what you sow. Okay. And it said, so the national security, the parameters of recruitment are to me, because NDC are being yes, you be loadu, almost be loadu, we should be loadu. That is what they will say. Yes, you have a fire. MPP Bayern, almost loadu ye. Yes, you loadu, a by naba. You get it. Overco airport, near the boys in the world, Yamani Gota. Now, country baying and the national security days, as the Germans will call the service. Well, no timidity in national Gota, which is the communication gadget to the crown. Editor and son was so trustful. Now, argument, when you're doing national security, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Now, we are unofficially, what the man pay about Masalanta one track, to new report to track. No, what made the government in my says 8 years, no, the number the Sabunko for in the end, mobilizing on those what's in a land guard. Country Ben, you're using national security co-defending for land. Country Ben, you're using the Bureau of National Investigation, co-defending for land. It's because we pick them as party activists without process. We pick them without training. Come on, come correct them some training in Kofo. Go to Senegal, a West African country, the whole year, murder case here 1 or 2, no more than 3. Senegal Kumobia, under 10 minutes, so much one just any panel, Senegal no cool. Find out, correct the data, correct data of how they run the Ghana unresolved mystery of Obiewu, Attorney General or Department correct, Nipa Yakum Womu investigation inconclusive. Our police in team conclude Attorney General, every Obia, now police in team prosecute, Attorney General Nema advice. Then welcome Obi next one. Is the police that prosecute and put you to jail, not the Attorney General. So we have a very, let's say United Nations, a republic of what? Freedom. Joking paradise.
Oh.
Of course, Ghana is a joking paradise. You don't know.
Oh, you're a serious country.
It is a joking paradise. Quote me anywhere. We are not serious with anything. And you're easy. You're the Switzerland of Africa. There's no country that sees peace, has peace more than Ghana. We need tribal, civil, and only religious, and only even economic crime, and put you on the street of Accra, and put you on the street of Kumasi to fight. How much more do individual politicians try to say, now, one government they should be a Bakufio, and yet MPP by and a BB, and this is bad government as a more watching, what kind of story? No, don't continue the boarding gate. It's saying, was that not also one of those things? It's don't practice in you, they should learn out of this. Some of this interview won't push because some of us we subscribe to every good governance. Wow. We don't subscribe to any good governance, any bad governance. I don't care because I'm not prepared for any appointment. But somebody must speak for Ghanaians. So I hear too much. So hear me and a cockroach and you're doing too without any serious issue. Young first from pepe. Nobody, you and I cannot say said two governments will be about years at the end of the day, and then you let them any of them come to tell us where they got their money from. But they are okay. Can't you need the beach of it and you must have a view in Sika? Well, it's a new overnight, will be a Musano. There is a beauty of a country. I don't think the best you push here on your fighting. Honorable engineer. And you have on Bekuno, and then you have on Babono. Ghana, thank God, Rollins, and stop with the beatings. Ghana Police Service on watching criminal in the exchange of guns. Watching another police block and no one has our country. Meanwhile, no police in your body 2 on the night. Like I'll say, the suspect. How does the person become suspect? I've got to too. It is alleged. Meanwhile, you are the main suspect, the main person. Because you're so swelling headed. They are so easy. Ability to manipulate any part of our judicial system and our laws. If the police officer claims to me in country say, it's your crown, what you will do, no more compatible to put you. One I'll pinch you, a booger will come with you. One question, no, or no any police service investigator said the suspect. It is alleged. Country and Toby Kumnipo Bisu. That is the rampant user. And I say, the security for now. No, Kumkum. What do you want to bottom the car? Yamo 300,000 safer. Ukuna Babaji.
Hey.
And this one, I'm no one, when I'm one, Jario, who's in Kuboku for this camera.
Oh, when you're now when you think I cried on them, the central market, Hanum Kumasaya. Why hope it has
amount of when you're Pugo, now your whole Russia, and you photo fist, you Prez, now your movie. No being James and his phone, Officer will tell that one will shoot you.
Now, about I say instant justice. Nabia.
Instant justice need a bank. Martial law. Instant justice need a who control migration 40 border push. Now I can work on Nipa 7 migration for now. What you will are must say a suspect. It is alleged. Mammy from Musia, na Yampa Bepa, Yanti the Mexican said, wow, Unia, Wadanfo. I will be this kind of a case section. Young who said, even in the heat of the issue of Wontumi, he didn't spend more than maybe 2 hours in police cells at the police station and your money bail. So if the president was on an inquiry bail, at what point does the party mobilize themselves and go there? Abra Yoko, actually the ordinary, it's just all kind of police. They are not in uniform. an investigative body. How does it become an issue? I will be a call. Okay, there. Okay, no be Traore. One more crown.
Professor, who you say? As a band be about security appointment on one a.
My last version of it before I go off your meeting, Kakra.
Okay.
And they said, you know why it is possible? So, with the president be banned, we see now, say, shake up in police, shake up in army. It must stop.
Okay.
It must completely stop. It's not done. Abrofuna you policing. It's not done that way.
Okay.
Now it has been possible, say, your recruitment drive and your appointment drive of the military police and all the security agencies in Iran are wrong. Why is it wrong? Over 5 police in Awosumani. So I go through the ranks. No, I go to commissioner of police. We are for a fair balance. Unfortunately to them, they don't understand it. No, I just study Oka, your friends, until language they are account and well related. English the in media. Now the Nakwa to Gonja land. Which one quiet commissioner of police, one quiet district council, a commissioner, one quiet divisional commissioner. When you get one side in the country, magical. It is because said, but be a fine police, a crime on your better than crew.
Okay.
You are not down passo. No, be who's a crew, a fijasi, and I will come quite a few nipa. About your officer in charge of free crewman. Let's see your performance. Then you say, quite as a police, only back a father to your shooting. When the boy said bad you come it's a bibiba on the target. That is the German policing, K9.
Okay.
That is the German policing. That is the Holland efficient police. Only magic. And your communication gadget in Kwa. It is why they recruit. When you are a police officer, one from up from about the DCOP. If you was that, your man is so Ghana police system. Now the Nako to Gambaga. Until you punish us, when you won't culture, until you tradition, when you're in your court. That's the worst case scenario. When I'm frustrated, I know a girlfriend will come or no do transaction. You won't free or wouldn't free other region call. When you are protesting, I know a father and for. And you know, I'm fine, you're calling BBS on family. But put that officer in the crew. And it's to be rising through the ranks. We're going to be a commissioner level. Not a year. And come on for Bianco crew. Your 16 regions, you have 16 commissioners. Or Bianco crew. Now, quiet commissioner. Officers from free region for be a sound a German for you, sound a UK for you. Into the Inspector General Police back up, you could come from any other region. But the operations in there, open your top post Bianco crew. Into woman back as a new president. Now, make a shake up because you can't enough for him.
Okay.
Into a trade chromo at a pensioner. Obey training for chromo. Into the Bian, a crobia will peace. Papa, this is common sense. This is common sense.
No.
American does that the same thing. Okay. American stop police our bronze. No fun bronze Brooklyn come from you look not tracking this year.
Oh, okay.
Don't find the bronze and find Brooklyn. No. Don't find Brooklyn find them Queens. No. Don't find Harlem.
Long Island.
Yeah, Long Island finding sure. If you stop police in Harlem or then back to Harlem. To go into Harlem for boys in you or no mashida or no my Bibiana and to be Biba or no never and someone is saying himself. Yaki will be Asumadi, will be Asumadi, and Webster Avenue boys, the kitchen Asumadi. And then call you to me in the investigation to Webster Avenue. So, when your kitchen go fast, you get a point. Standing up for Naye. And Japan set up near changing military, near changing you, or be about open for an interest. At the end of the day, no. And when I started here, shake up from Kwame Nkrumah in 1957. Has there been any shake-up in the system rotation system of the police? It must solve your problem, no. So why do you charge them? Why do we charge them? Let me know, money will be no yen Juma. A buyer say, we shall put near Kaka woman in a book, and is that commissioner be officer been empower sama, or my police for the area of our signal, near Pejaus. Many penny been on the police here, Anajo. And you can, if you can't do a man so that. And I will do a man so, do an answer that. When is the force police in the friend chief inspector Daku, or call incubate my building, or 3 name a car and a near team. That was rich. What I said.
Okay.
Many quite to Santa Police when you had to say ya. And so at that time, Commissioner be no or person show power me who sampa or Bona Jumano. And I do not know then a signal man. Me one up upon the police. I was to just 30 years. I didn't back or co pension. I found 1 year. And I do not when you signal say on some when you didn't toast I will Black Maria Academy. It took me and a consi patch or my penny crack. I said no. And look at your Jima. Why? Because me at the car young register and nam. Me. But say your system. Obi Bona Juma Sano. Yes. And I do not policeman transfer.
Because what become Wabekani Yanka.
But I'm going to Pedino. Or the police going out to say I can come out of you.
Wow.
So Sunday say, was saying Yamna Michelle, Mamma Michelle, Mamma Macho. Mommy and Coach, I'm from Kangusi, I guess I'm other farmer cat. And then the bunny here knew.
That one Tiasia Mamunko. Now Mumfango police station, no.
Because I guess I can't register in finance, which was working perfectly. But the demand just said, Emma Penny be sorry said, we're good massive, or Gumpany for any massive. I made a minute penny by Mekahubi, we're good massive, just a transfer. And I do about 5 a.m., none in Bako school, none a signal for opportunities or any man no more. All them who come so more, you know, because I'm a boy, and I do not.
Wow. When I am a Coswa, we meeting dinner there. You be see her. Na there be a bro hono.
No problem.
Ya hena ya to so ECOWAS as 50 and 28th of May. You be rem. Prof, yeah, that's it.
Namenkamu, we are still in ECOWAS week, so we can treat that subject. Why?
All right.
Namenkamu,
that's be brave. Professor Wahab Farouk and Edin common a meeting or was here. Oh, yeah, no, Nyag Robert, my friend, no, say, Godson. Alice is okay, me room kakra. Pressure hopper, but you won't come kakra. Na already know a digan, me testing no digan catch him, and then I kakra. Meet the Wahab Farouk. Professor, or ye meeting and ye meeting get to her. Sir, or ye meeting and ye meeting get to her. I mean, anytime be I will cry on camera or on radio, but be I mean, personally, didn't come out. A near man, obey me at church behind cameras and also on radio and that microphone, I don't know, is so serious. A near man, obey me the last time, menino didn't come out. Or phone so I brought from him say for bear an hour now or train near me beam. Minima dia ubisa Wahab Faruka. Only one ye I just don't know. Because which I'm own to me me born tell. Or my references I would be the man is genius, just say Wahab Farouk, international diplomatic consultant, yes. Yedana suddenly was saying your brain what church and Memudi are train now. So, okay, can't say me brave. The last time, no, I can say even Bokun to Quanto Quaniadi. I can't the brow mine. I was so Mokope military base. Nanke Hona Ntoquano can home banning at this side, creek na no man sorry. But we just say a friend crying 4B and one normal cocket cabo Obekona, a jana tomb. And son a car mobile body acone. I didn't the name the been police for their walking. Was it Ghana as a politician because obetimi ama eja to ma oboa because yen obi o Ghana ha bia ora o papa free ne asafo hene Western region asafo and ama me free hene bi ebono nti de o kan bi ne member papa free Asante Achimago, right? Konongo side. And I'm a mammy so free bosom side. Ubecomuno, na me papa, mammy, or no son papa free beer, unkind. And I'm a mini frachancy. Ubecum num papa pano, or no beer, ne papa free infante. And an irimum, oh, you see that thing? Indeed, also balance no one Magana Grana United Nations. And indeed, ora, sa 7 hour panic canon. Just a wife you don't want to say, and answer what shall say. oh yeah analysis and now enquire kakra ansana o scrutinize kakra ansana wa beti ase because ebre bia nipa bia ye ne nam kroma no kroma nya te se bia eye nipa makoma na bia o se ne papa frasafo na maame nsu frasafo na ne papa frasafo ne maame frasafo entansi maame free ha papa free ha tubo nso obekom no obekọ na even kra no ye ne aye papa mu ora o papa ne o maame na wo mu nyina ozo obekọ na nua ba ko nso ewo mu ha it is ntokwa ba na yese ye nko a anya bia no wo ankasa no already unua ba ko free ba bia ntokwa na si no enti ya ka se kokon ho no anya de so obekọ akoko unua ba ko ya igbeni ebi ha papa ne ya igbeni bi ko wo nti o unua ebi kro o baba ko je no ba betena aware na ase you understand ma wo kra mu nyina no mu nyini bom iti ebe ya den say ebe ka say yan sore nkoko anu obi e kwa akoko sa ya den and also about the police ni ade na o kan ye no o see the fa police bi a o te atonsu e na wanyini a na bi a akọ ya recruit akọ police ma akọ training no aba o so obetena atonsu ho bad boys ni nyina unimo omunsu ni mo omunse wa ba asase no ebe ya omunse o we dey say na ye na ba omunse omunye bibia na atu ho na motu ana mo ne kwan so a afi no ma besuo and that is the truth because ya transfer police officer free ha e de ne ko bimbila on take kasa no oni mo bibia ni na e ba ase one who ya I'm telling you say police for bia konkro bi so ye adwuma opeso ye na adwuma no se ne say but chrome for you can't defeat them me hu bi da asem ba na wo ye kikira police ni kura timi fra wo se bra etu fo se jayo twaso na nkrofo we mu de because ye kan police ke wo ho no ehe ba akutu onwusie no etu e wo ho nye papa police na angasa ye ni police barracks angasa bi de ma wo mu papa bi no de ni fie ama police for no mu tim na sa papa no na se ne ba di nzemu na obenya kye na ba betu fie ho ana no obi no de ni fie ama police for di sa papa no ne ba ye ya be dey en minim kura police for akọchi obi so aye bone na kromo for mbrante be pam police for nyina free police station be wo mu nipa go vie me say omu be pam wo mu nyina eyi wo mu nipa ko vie bro wo mu kura di wo mu nipa ko vie reinforcement be ba ebe koyi yo groni bi wono na onye obi nyansem na bi afi na wo nam kwan so se obi na ekwan no kura ka be na ekọ hwe ye ready ekọ kwachi ni media foundation for West Africa mo kokọ ba bi a masa eto bre bi a utimi ko pie be betu za hase se bi nyansem tro adwuma na do ba ha na se wasem bi se bi o mani anso no mo si bibi ni a because oba time opemfo kra oba onyema awo aka no kra no ka de ne be ko no ye de na opemfo ti moto so opemfo no moto no kra ni kro ni so yakope obi se ho no na phones on be charge nyina no wura ye obi on wo charge phones jiska ti mo nkron bi a obi betimi be odi moto be 40 minutes and obi ride moto a de aba nti ono ba wagigi kromofo obi o phone bia e phone na kana ho and on de aba center ha and we resident de aba u charge phone ba ko a 1 cedi and o mu charge mo kona ewu a na ma sa de aba come on it is a kofa o the police ni free ha e de ne kokoto sa bia ho a it as one hofo no be ball abom na obedane honi because what a uhu bi ohun uhu bi na no onye uni ha na no boko police for ozu boko ntokoi police for bambo for esu omuntimi mpie u na we bambo ni no u ntimi mpie because police for no according to omo yi omo kan yo mo ne Kwame Tanko di nkomo on Lawson TV no omo kire se etuo ne weapons kura boko for boys no boko ntokwa na yegoso no boys no be weapons krom no omo mu di police no omo hu bi da omo ni hu bi da enempo wo hunu se de obi kro obe handle no di ebambofo ni bi wo ha omo bre eye bre I'm telling you eye bre se kuma se mo ne nkran de eye ni na reinforcement na buffalo anti robbery wan o maba hwe kunkru nkitu ani bi mkore obi tibi bo police ni asum Jesus de menyame obi tibi hwi police asum na ese Jesus de menyame o de na se menyame nti wote so omo so police obi achi obi omo se wa akwache ne bra nkrofo bi backup and sometimes to obi ono mo police for be yo madwuma pepe so o ma chi no na ahodin bi frechire di police ni be ya adwuma no ayagu obi betim police ni betimi ade ne nkwa abo afode awurawura mu akwachi obi hombe chene na ba na ebe court wotere sam me see chief inspector appear ku bi ajoso e guy bi interview op your FM 2 p.m. inspector na tell say boy no court eja boy no omo man was 25 years onya 5 years om dey appeal and ba out chief inspector say boy na ba out no and was Ghana nyesi ekwan mo fa so rainbow style come fa so munya no che no o che boy no kran san no me chief inspector because na guy no nensam ya yipa court ejele appeal lawyers be mu anwan sa no mu ja ne nyeso no ba no abesachira eno abefa bible no afa urade no ka no abeye sofo a no so obesa di bone o singa Ghana nyesi the police ni bi de nkwa beto abo afode atimi achi nipa bone ni na superior power nkrofo do se no makodia a police for some police a process prosecutors aye ho adwuma de ama court na court akoduru court no na yesi cobra a join ye be shia before the law court that say ye court to asheda ye dey say ya boy ya omkobo no say will be so aye krom forward turn on society way boy na wu police for all my femu de ama court omo koba onza asem no edadin hwe ma adwo asem police for ma yonko police ni o ma che no ama omo de ama mra emra ni mu no omo koba se ya police ni the first appearance the court appearance according to Gossip Angel FM report our yema meche so omo first appearance police ni jitum so no na ye na no ba ne de ka 5,000 still I almost there be PM reading was there be on some kind of so yan to inshada e dan from to share by was onim ho according to Gossip amanko obi tinsem bebre kosukuro yi mu ono bi JB dankwa ebu akwa North MP the late show police for ayo ma famu de amamra no court no mfiese ni and the NDC the NPP aban so abetwa 8 years sa akoma NDC asa aba omuntimi mu ai ti se bi se police mi de nkwa bo afode na ye ni se ye ni se ye ni nyina ko wi akira uti anya nipa no kra wo koyere no ade ne kwache no nipa na asa aba fie na nze na sa ya asam foforo ndinka wasa ban no obi tsa Wahab mu sei no ya monye wo ma dwenkyere mo no mo ntena se nyi wo ma dwenkyere na moa no man no enko nanim cause niema papa nanim na doso dodo al Wahab Farouk professor niema wonim na doso yara buzu afase. Thank you very much Dr. Nimoni Wat Scientific Hospital yare ha wono se wo kan Dr. Nimbo be mo aduro ni Wat Scientific Hospital je Dr. Nimu number no o de o frɛ no o frɛ no na yare a ha no o ma o ho aduro 0244 087 687 0244 087 687 yada mas me dina de Alexis me no ra ana ka bo mane ye ne Wahab ye de Wontumi special edition ebrewo yada mas thank you.